Okay. Week 6 in the NFL is here. And let me try this again. Week 6 is here in the NFL. And I believe this might be one of the best games of the week that I'm doing. One of two, I should say, for sure. With the Dallas Cowboys versus the Green Bay Packers. The best rushing offense in the league versus the best run-stop defense in the league. And we'll see when an immovable object faces a irresistible force. So, and ooh, don't know if Dez Bryant will be playing, but yet I don't know who's going to be starting at running back for the Green Bay Packers, because both Eddie Lacy and James Starks for the Packers has been hurt. So this is going to be an interesting game as both teams enter the game with only one loss. Dallas started the season with a crucial mistake. Week 1, losing to the New York Giants. And ever since then, they've been lights out. The Cowboys are 4-1, while Green Bay is 3-1, mainly because of their bye. And their only loss is against their own divisional rival, the Minnesota Vikings.
These Dallas Cowboys 4-1. We get a look at their
so
offense.
we get
now Tony Romo still a few weeks away from coming back. It's going to be a tough decision.
we get to see a interesting matchup with Cowboys offense versus Green Bay's defense. That's going to be the key matchup of this week, because with new rookie running back Ezekiel Elliott just tearing up defenses, but yet whoa, this is where I think Madden is going to get wrong. Speaking of Madden, after simulating 6 games for the first 5 weeks, Madden has only got it right twice. Last week I did Buffalo at Los Angeles. They predicted LA was going to win. Nope. Buffalo took care of that, and that's what I figured was going to happen. So, but anyways, maybe men will get it right for once again.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big time run, big time pass.
1-2 combination looked pretty good.
How about that?
Let's take a look at the current standings in the NFL. I will say last week there were 3 undefeated teams. Now there's only 1. And who are they? They are none other than the team that I despise the most, I would have to say. And it's one of the Packers' oldest and bitter rivals, the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
But you know what? It's their defense that keeps them in the game.
On second down, Elliott, and he'll be brought down
Woo.
at the 27-yard
It's their.
line.
It's mainly
They get
Minnesota's
5 out of that
defense
one
is
in
why
recent
they are
games.
undefeated. They
So many teams
they
want to throw
hold
the ball in
opponents
this
down.
situation
They
nowadays,
keep them
but I love watching a team that has
from
enough confidence to
preventing
go ahead and run
anything
the football. In
good
that
or great, I
situation,
should say.
that's almost a
And
tendency breaker.
let's
A new
see.
set of downs here after picking up the first on the
I
ground.
think they have only played. Well,
Here's Prescott.
there's only 2 teams that they have played against that have winning records.
Collision there, jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
And, well, at the time, let's do this. At the time, well, week 1, you know, both teams are winless.
At number 4 in the 2016
Tennessee was
draft,
0-0.
big need
They
for
went
the
oh,
defensive
they're
line,
0-1.
and they go with the running
They go
back.
star power.
They
Week
went
2,
star power,
both
but
Green Bay
Ezekiel Elliott,
and
in a
Minnesota,
lot of
they
ways,
were
was
1-1.
exactly the right decision. When they had winning
Carolina,
success in
Carolina was
2014, they did it running the
1-1,
football.
or I should
Elliott
say
can do
going
that
back to
for
Green
them
Bay, they were
again.
both 1-0. They were both 1-0. Carolina, they were 1-2 at the time.
The play action fake.
New York Giants, they were 2-1.
His throw caught right around the 6.
And when they played Houston, they were
And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
3-1.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure
Yeah,
that
they were
guy
3-1.
touches the ball, and sometimes it
So I
just
mean,
happens naturally,
technically,
and then you
Minnesota
change
has
your game
played
plan. When
3
he has the
teams
hot
with
hand,
winning
you keep
records.
going back to him because
But
he's running routes with confidence as
when
the
you
game
look at them
goes on.
now, Houston and Green Bay are the only teams with winning records currently, while New York, Tennessee, what is Tennessee?
So after that
New York,
big play,
Tennessee,
let's see if
and
they
Carolina
catch their
all
defense
have
maybe
losing
on their
records.
heels.
And,
Now Elliott.
you know,
And he'll get in.
it's amazing.
Touchdown, Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Cowboys have taken the early lead.
It's
That's just a
it's
solid,
amazing
methodical drive to start this game.
because I want to say when Minnesota does lose their first game, it's mainly going. It's not going because of a shootout. It's mainly because their defense for some reason falls apart and their offense can't keep up. But only one team in the league's undefeated, and only one team has not won a game at all. And surprise, surprise, who else would it be? It's the lonely Cleveland Browns. Oh, can't anything go right for the Browns? But let's see. Who do the Browns play this week? I mean, the real question is, will the Browns ever win a game this year at some point? I mean, their next few opponents, they just took on New England, and who came back with New England? Tom Brady. So how do you think that went? But the Browns, they're at Tennessee, so that's a potential, potential win. Maybe. Maybe asking a lot. They're at Cincinnati. Don't know about that. Then they host the Jets. Fitzpatrick. Then they host the Cowboys. They're at Baltimore. They have a few chances somewhere. Oh, San Diego, Week 16. That might be a gimme. But who knows? But they don't see their bye until Week 13. Wow. But speaking of schedules, let's take a quick look at Minnesota and see who has a potential of handing them their first loss. They're on bye week right now. But after the bye week, Minnesota faces, they go to Philly, who at the moment only has 1 loss.
The field tilts in his
They got their
favor.
loss this past week against Detroit, which you know, 1 point loss. So I mean, close game. Then Minnesota's at Chicago on Halloween. And if there's been any famous Halloween games, at least with Chicago, I believe it was the '94 Monday night game, Green Bay at Chicago, and Chicago just got taken to school by Brett Favre that night. But I don't know about that. But then November 6th, they take on Detroit. They host Detroit. Back-to-back divisional games, maybe Detroit, if anything, might. But at home, Minnesota might be too good for that. At Washington, I don't see Washington upset. Arizona coming to town. How Arizona's playing, who knows? But then Minnesota gets to play on Thanksgiving. Plays on Thanksgiving at Detroit, and that might be where Minnesota trips and stumbles, because 3 weeks earlier they host Detroit, so Detroit, they'd just be a recent opponent. And Thanksgiving sometimes, I mean, I think Detroit might be on a roll on Thanksgivings now after losing like 20 in a row. December 1st hosting Dallas, that might be a good one. Go back to back, who knows? And that's a Thursday night game, so twice in a row they go, and Dallas. Dallas, I mean, they play Thanksgiving, and then the following week they both play on December 1st, which is another Thursday. So then finally Minnesota gets 10 days rest. They're at Jacksonville. They should win that one. They host Indianapolis. They should win that one. At Green Bay on Christmas Eve. That might be another stumble for Minnesota. And then they host Chicago at the end of the season. So at best, I would say, well, at best they would be 16-0, but that's not going to happen. Let's be all honest. But I see Minnesota losing at least 3 games from looking at the rest of their schedule. At least. At most, all of them, I guess, but that's not going to happen either. But their road for perfection doesn't look too terrible, to be honest, but we'll see. Only time will tell. But I don't think it's going to happen. But anyways, let's take a look at standings in the NFL. We'll start off in the AFC. In the AFC East, there's only one team that stands on top of the charts, and it's none other than the New England Patriots at 4-1. And maybe not too of a big surprise.
Incomplete pass on second
The
down. Let's see
Buffalo
what the
Bills
offense
are
throws up
right
here
behind
on third.
New England. Bills do have the tiebreaker, but they're only 3-2. So if New England slips up somewhere down the line,
Surveying the field.
um,
Hit from behind, and he has landed on hard. Cedric Thornton.
they'll be
Time sack on third
whatever.
down. And it'll be a
Buffalo's
loss of
3-2.
7.
If New England
Well,
somehow
they
slips
win
up
the
somewhere,
nickel, but
Buffalo
an
is
extra
right there on top of the
coverage was
East.
very good.
Yeah, it was exactly as you would expect.
Um,
Passing down, you bring in the nickel package, just as you described. The coverage
Then
was
the
excellent
Bills,
and allowed one
the
of
Bills are in
linemen
second.
to
I already
end
said
up getting to the
the New York
quarterback.
Jets and the Miami Dolphins bring up the rear at 1-4.
Now the second-year man from Buffalo, Jake Shum, on to punt. Lucky Whitehead back deep for Dallas.
We move on to the AFC West. Big surprise right here, maybe for some, but the
And this one hits at the 3 and
Oakland Raiders,
for a touchback.
4-1.
The Packers defense here, they're heading
They
back
are
out
on
the
top of
field.
the
They
West,
struggled that last
somehow
drive. They were kinda
edging
hit two
out
ways, both with the run and
defending
the pass.
Super Bowl champions, the Denver Broncos, who are at 4-1 as well. So this might be a two-headed race where both teams make the playoffs, and the West might have 3 teams that make the
They were on their
playoffs.
heels. Will they be on their heels again? Let's see.
Behind those 2 teams, with only 2 losses, are the Kansas City Chiefs at 2-2, and bringing up the rear
First down.
are the
And he'll toss this one incomplete.
San Diego Chargers, more like the San Diego Chokers, because somehow
And a peek at the
they've
defense
had a
for the
lead,
Packers.
I think dating back to last year, like in the last 8 games, or they've had leads in the fourth quarter in 8 of their last 12 games or something like that, and heading into the fourth quarter and have lost. Some weird statistic like that. I mean, they're plus 10 on the net points,
So 2nd and
but they're
10
1-4.
here.
So how does that happen? I mean, San Diego has just been
They'll run with Elliott. And he'll be taken down
just
here
been
at
like,
the
what
23-yard line.
what happened? Because like last week they lost because their game potential tying field goal,
defensive tackles, because we asked him to just eat up blocks.
the holder-
other people to make tackles, but when he can make a play himself,
the holder
as we
just
saw there,
bobbled the
that's a
snap.
big day.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game.
And just,
They'll set
you know,
up a throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes
it's
down.
just, it just boggles my mind. But anyways,
Thanks to the safety
moving on to the
blitz,
end,
it's a
here,
sack.
AFC North on top. No big surprise here. One of the few, a handful of teams, I should say, that are one loss. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they are 4-1. They're on top of the AFC North. Fouled closely behind the Baltimore Ravens at 3-2.
So on fourth down, here's Chris Jones
Then
to punt it away.
the Cincinnati Bengals,
Back
they
in for
are
the
2-3,
Packers, Micah Hyde.
and like I said before, the lonely, winless Browns bring up the rear.
We'll call that a punt of 54
And then,
yards. What a
last
start.
but not least, in the AFC South, the only division with where the division leader has 2 losses. The Houston Texans are in first place at 3-2, while Tennessee and Indianapolis come in at 2nd and 3rd respectively at 2-3, while the Jacksonville Jags, they are 1-3.
They understand their quarterback, and they know they have to keep plays alive for him to work his
Now
magic.
on the NFC side, we start off in the East, and we have right here, in the game you are watching, the Dallas Cowboys are on top of the East without Tony Romo, without a healthy Dez Bryant, and with a dramatic rookie duo with Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott.
Last game against the Giants, the pride of Alcoa, Tennessee, Randall Cobb. And I'm just going to tell you, if I ever die
They
in
are
fantasy
4-1,
football,
but right behind them,
I'm getting
only
him
because
on
they
my
had
team because I
their
think he's
bye
gonna
already.
continue to bring those
The
numbers
Philadelphia
back to
Eagles
2014
at
levels.
3-1.
Throwing now is Rodgers.
Then,
He's gonna
surprise,
float this one
surprise,
deep right side. And this is gonna be hauled in. All
surprise,
right,
surprise,
catch at the 10.
last year's defending
It's a big play
NFC,
for Green Bay.
NFC East champions
59 yards.
are
Well, we know he's got the speed there.
Washington,
He needs the speed
3-2.
and the
They're in
hands.
third. So you have three teams in the East that have winning records, while last year I think they all had losing records.
Or make sure you're somehow in contact with him, and he's able to do
And
exactly
then
what you said. Use the speed to his advantage. and
bringing up
go
the
and
rear
get
with
the
3
football.
losses
That's
and
a
only
big
2
time play
wins,
right there.
the New York Giants.
And now
So I
first
mean,
down following that long gain.
all the teams are still alive in the East, but
Back is
the
Lacy.
Giants 2 games behind, but Washington only 1. It's going to be tough.
Rodgers. His pass caught at the 4.
in the NFC West. What a surprise. Like I keep saying, what a surprise when you hear the divisional leaders. You have Seattle coming off their bye. They are on top of the West at 3-1. But the LA Rams, in my opinion, a little surprise here. They are in second place at 3-2, while the defending divisional champs, Arizona, are at 2-3. And no big surprise, the San Francisco 49ers, who finally decided to switch things up at quarterback, bring up the rear at 1-4. After starting the season, they start the season 1-0, shutting out LA, but have gone 4 straight weeks with losses. So, I don't know how you do that, but the NFC North, like I mentioned before, the only undefeated team in the league, with the Minnesota Vikings, who are on bye this week, so they will stay undefeated for at least one more week. Right behind them are who has to keep the pace are the Green Bay Packers at 3-1. Detroit is in third at 2-3, while the Lonely Bears somehow are 1-4. And then finally, in the NFC South, we have the hot Atlanta Falcons, who are on a 4-game win streak after starting the season, losing at home against a divisional rival, has won 4 straight, 4-1, while the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the team that beat them, are 2-3, and in second place, New Orleans just beats out Carolina in third place for 1-3, just mainly because they had their bye and have one less loss than the defending NFC champions, the Carolina Panthers, who are 1-4. And the question becomes, what's happened in Carolina? A team that at this point was undefeated, wouldn't lose their only game of the regular season until week 15? Yeah, no. Now just coming back to the game here real quick. No, I can see Zeke maybe breaking one, but as a Packer fan and watching their games in week and week out, it's going to be hard. It's always amazing watching teams try to run against Green Bay, because Green Bay has the best run-stop defense. And I don't think Madden does just well. Doesn't show it well. But you know, this is just a video game, and we'll see what Madden thinks is going to happen anyways. When real life comes around, totally different story. But I do this for the fun of it. So, anyways, going back, those are the standings in the NFL, and hey, this is what the playoff pictures would look like right now if the playoffs were today. If everyone likes to do playoff predictions, so on and so forth, even after week 1. But I think after 5-6 weeks in the NFL, you get a gist on who might be for real and who might not be. I mean, in the NFC, there are only 8 teams in the NFC with winning records right now. And 6 of them have 5 of them have 1 loss, 1 of them has no losses, and 2 of them have 2 losses. Everyone else has 3 or more.
Trotting out there, the Packers
While on the
getting ready
AFC
to
side,
go. And they're gonna need another
there's
score.
only
Got one
4.
last time,
There's
but still down here.
only 7 teams with winning
Every
records.
possession becomes crucial, doesn't it?
3 of them with 1 loss,
Back out on the field, punch in the
and
end zone
the
again.
other
I know
4.
it's not easy, but what they do have going for them, they did score the last time. I
No,
think they've got a good
no,
formula.
4 of them with 3 losses. No,
Now
geez.
you're just saying to
4 of
yourself,
them with 1
gave up a
loss,
score
and
last
3 of
time.
them with 2
What
losses.
adjustments do we need to make to slow them down now and get the ball
But
back
you
for
know,
our
it's
offense?
only week
Is it
6 in the
more pressure?
NFL.
Is it more zone?
Buys are
What do they have
coming
to
and
do to try
going,
to figure that out
and
themselves?
we
See
won't
if they can
know.
figure that out right here.
Everyone won't have played the same number of games until week
One receiver left,
13.
2 to the right. On
Or,
second down, here's Rodgers.
so, yeah, I think week
Over the middle,
13.
it's caught by Adams. And he's brought down.
So,
A good pickup there on
anyways,
30 yards.
playoff scenarios,
One thing
everyone
I can say
loves
pretty
them.
safely,
Why
that
not?
route is not called if you don't have a guy who
In the
can throw the
AFC,
ball and put
your
some
top 2
distance
teams would be
because if you're
Pittsburgh.
not really
That's
popping
not a
the
big
field,
surprise.
bad
But
things usually happen.
the
It
Oakland
takes a
Raiders
strong arm guy who
would
can
be your
run
number
right
2
in
seed in the
there, and
AFC.
they were able to
Was that?
successfully complete that one.
That's semi head scratcher, but how they've been playing, not surprised. How most experts expected them,
After that
not
big
surprised.
gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve.
But then
One back is
New
Lacy.
England would be 3rd, and Houston would be 4th.
And able to push
Followed by
his
your
way
2
forward
wild
here
card
for a good
teams.
little
Top
gain.
seed,
And
top
give him
wild card
40
team
yards
would be
there.
your
It'll be
defending
second and
Super Bowl
6.
champions, the Denver Broncos, while the Baltimore Ravens would bring up the rear, be the 6th and final seed and 2nd wild card, and it'd be Texans would be hosting the Broncos while the Patriots be hosting the Ravens. While the Bills and the Chiefs would be your next 2 teams hunting for playoff seeds at 7th and 8th.
Rodgers to throw on second down.
On the flip side, on the NFC, obviously number 1 seed overall be Minnesota. They are 5-0. And it's these Dallas Cowboys who would be the number 2 seed at 4-1. Your 3rd seed would be the Atlanta Falcons, who are 4-1, and the South champions. And your 4th seed, only because they have played 1 less game, the Seattle Seahawks would be your 4th seed. And your 5th seed would be these Green Bay Packers, and your 6th seed would be the Philadelphia Eagles. So that means Seattle would host Green Bay, and Atlanta would host Philly. So, I mean, I say if the playoffs were today, both sides look pretty good, and I'd be interested in watching and just seeing who could go all the way. But we're not there yet. We still got 10 more weeks, 11 more weeks after this this week, and there's a lot of football yet to be played. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Because really, they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed.
So,
they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This
before I
drive is
get to my
going pretty
picks,
well. I could come right back
I
out.
know I want to talk about
Rodgers now to throw. And he
the
finds
one
Cook.
thing.
11 and a first down.
Oh, see, now I know this ain't right. Jared Cook, he'd still be hurt. So, but yeah, like I said, it's a video game. Matt, I updated the rosters to the best of my ability. I can only do so much. And I don't think Cook will be healthy enough to play Sunday, but you never know. Maybe a miracle happen.
They'll run it now out of the gun.
Oof.
And a short gain here down to the 22. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be
Like,
second
I
and
don't know, going back at least, oh, maybe it's been 10 years or so. The one thing, the NFL, ESPN, CBS, Yahoo,
They run it again with Lacy.
um,
And they'll get him down right about the 20.
they love to do our power rankings.
Needing a conversion here on
And
36.
you know, power rankings can fluctuate based on opinions, and it's usually they like to who's playing the best right now. It doesn't really matter on their standings, like their record.
Of quarter one. 14-7 is the score. We're back to Lambeau in just a moment.
It's usually who's playing, who's hot right now. Who is hot right now? And obviously ranking their standings do help. Like, you know, Minnesota, they're number 1 overall in the power rankings on most boards. But like for example, I'm looking at ESPN's power rankings right now, and like
keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down.
Like Green Bay, they have Green Bay at number 9 after being at 6 last week, and it's like they won, but yet you drop them.
So on now for the Packers is their all-time leading scorer, Mason Crosby.
Oh, I have to settle for a field goal? Bullcrap. Let's see this real quick. Kicks up. Kicks good. But I mean, power rankings, I don't know. If you use power rankings are, in my opinion, are just kind of bull honky. Mainly because it's like, hey, that's how college football does their rankings. Top 25, that's all power ranking stuff. And it's a matter of opinion who's playing great right now. It's like, yeah, if you lose, you're going to drop. If you win, you go up. But for the most part, if you win, you should stay or move up. You shouldn't really drop. Because like on
after the made field goal, now
everyone's main excuse why Green Bay dropped in power rankings is because of their offense wasn't as productive. Well, they had over 400 yards offense. They won the game, and Aaron Rodgers never got sacked. And the Packers' defense was, at least defensive line, I will put it that way, was stellar. So, I mean, what's Green Bay doing wrong? So, but I mean, if I had to pick my top 5 teams right now who are hot, I mean, obviously I would have to go with Minnesota, unfortunately, not because I don't really like Minnesota, but you know, they're undefeated. They'd be top 5. I mean, Atlanta is right there. They have won 4 straight. Let's see.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere.
From there, it gets a little, you know, gets a little sticky. I mean, I think I would also have put New England in there as top 5. I mean, their one blemish came a few weeks ago. But it's like, you know, let's just get this done over with, and we have Brady back. We have a healthy quarterback.
Now Prescott, and this one complete to Witten over the middle, and he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39.
I think I would also put the Cowboys, and then probably Green Bay, to be all honest. Mainly because Cowboys, they've won 4 straight, and then Green Bay, I mean, their only loss came to Minnesota, and that was only by 3 points. The closest margin game that Minnesota has played all year was that 3-point difference between the Packers and Minnesota. Some remember, but
loves to hang their hat on that, don't they? You get a guy that catches the ball, but you stop him for no gain.
Without a doubt, because they're also used to
but
trying to catch people after the catch, and they miss. And that turns into
I don't know. Power rankings aren't.
So many times. In this case, though,
are, you know,
catch was
just
made,
funny.
put down right on
They're
the spot.
interesting.
Out now comes the Cowboys punter. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boom.
I know.
And
There was
this'll hit
one
just
thing.
beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Aaron Rodgers, he's getting ready to go again here on offense. But a decent start for him here in this first half. But they're losing, and I think as the captain of the offense, you probably always feel like you need to do more in that situation.
Detroit has not given up a rushing touchdown. Green Bay has given up one. I was wondering about that. Since Green Bay is at the moment, has only given up 42.8 yards per game on average.
And that's what we're seeing from him right now. Got to have a little extra determination.
I was wondering if they gave up a rushing touchdown because I was trying to think back, like, have they or haven't they? And that might have been. It was hard to recall. But apparently they gave up one, and I mean, in this game so far, what, Ezekiel has 2, so. But anyways, stop beating around the bush. I'm gonna get to my picks. And last week, I'm slowly getting there. I went 7 for 7 with the 14 games there were. All the noon games, I think I got 2 right. The rest wrong. But in the afternoon, I just went win, you know, right. And then Monday night I got wrong because I thought Carolina was going to get back on the winning way because they were home. But no, Tampa Bay showed them that they were the better team. But we got 15 games this week. Starting with the Thursday night game. Denver at San Diego. And then move over to Sunday. We got a huge slate of actions. We got San Francisco at Buffalo, Jacksonville at Chicago, Los Angeles at Detroit, Cleveland at Tennessee, Pittsburgh at Miami, New England is hosting Cincinnati, Carolina at New Orleans, Baltimore at the New York Football Giants, Philadelphia at Washington, Kansas City at Oakland, Dallas at Green Bay, Atlanta at Seattle, Indianapolis at Houston for the Sunday night game, and Monday Night Football, the New York Jets at the Arizona Cardinals. So we got some good games, some good handful of games here and there that sound like fun, a little interesting. We start with Thursday night, old divisional rivals and color rush that would make you go blind and vomit. The Denver Broncos, the defending Super Bowl champions at San Diego. The question becomes, who will be the starting quarterback tonight? Like typically I do this after or slightly near the end of Thursday Night Football, so I know how things are going. But today I had to do a little earlier, but this is a little tricky. But how San Diego's playing, San Diego, it's disappointing to see that just how do they lose? How do they lose is the question. It's like everything's just poised and lined up for them, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, we lost. Shucks. Oh, well. And then their kicker laughs. Well, Denver last week, and I did get this game right. I did pick Atlanta over Denver. Why? Because Denver's quarterback and how Atlanta's offense moved the ball. But if Denver can get their quarterback situation, I mean, the only reason why Trevor Siemian isn't playing is because he's hurt. And
Let's give a lot of credit to
Paxton
the
Lynch,
offensive line.
he
They've been able to
was
move the ball
just
really well on the
just
ground the entire game.
ugh.
While that wasn't a huge one, that's
Last
okay.
week with
They'll take 'em in short, steady bursts.
Atlanta all over them.
That was a run play. Now let's see what they do on third.
But I think I would have to go with the defending Super Bowl champions on Thursday Night Football.
Every time I see a hitch pattern dropped, I go back
I
to
think
the
Denver gets
combine
back to their
because
winning
it
ways,
drills
and
all the time.
San Diego is just another.
Receiver catches the ball and just
I don't
makes
think
his
this time
way
is a head
straight down the
scratcher,
line and catches it from different sides.
but
And the problem
I
with
will
that
say I
drill
think it'll be at
is
least a
that you
close
don't
one.
have to secure the catch. You just gotta catch
But
it, drop
San
it
Diego
immediately,
loses
keep
yet
moving.
again,
And sometimes
and
that
it's
shows up
like,
on plays
what
this.
keeps
He's got a
happening
busy
to
man
us?
here in this first half as he gets it away. That'll be put in the books as
But
a
that's Thursday
53-yard
night.
punt.
That's
And the
tonight,
offense will take over
today,
with a new
yesterday.
set of downs. The
So
Packer offense now ready to get back onto the
I gotta go with
field.
Denver.
And
I
our
like
last
Denver. I
go-around,
think they
were
get
looking
back on
to
winning
gain
ways and
They had to
so
punt from
forth.
deep
But anyways,
inside their
we
own
move on to
territory,
Sunday
which
night
means they're
at
gonna lose the field
Sunday's
position battle as a
action
general rule.
with San Francisco at Buffalo and the San Francisco 49ers. They go back.
Yeah, just something
They
to
make a
build off of.
QB
That's what they're
switch.
looking for here.
They decide to say, "Hey, Gabbert, you're not doing it for us. Sure, you were great week 1,
They begin the
but
drive
we
with
gotta go
Mason.
back to
And
Colin
we'll lose
Kaepernick
yardage on the play, back at his
if
own
he can,
19-yard
get up
line.
off his knee." While Buffalo's been riding high after starting the season 0-2. They've won
So a
3
little
straight,
grabbing there, but this time it goes
including a
against the
win
offense
over
for
New
holding.
England. So they're one of the hot teams. Buffalo is one of the hot teams right now. They're home, and I don't see how San Francisco even competes in that one.
Again, we'll see the
I don't
pistol
think,
here.
obviously,
Following the
they have a
penalty now,
quarterback issue, yes.
And a nice gain there as
You know,
he'll be taken down just
Blaine
shy of
Gabbert
the
or
20.
Colin Kaepernick.
Productive run
I
there
mean,
on
the only,
first down.
they have
Ends up getting a-
San Francisco has issues all over the field, and the only thing they really can do is switch quarterbacks and see if that really sparks everybody to get, hey, we got
And they're
this.
behind the sticks here a bit now, dealing with a 2nd and 12.
But I don't think so. I think Buffalo stays hot. They stay on their winning streak. Buffalo goes 4-2, while
Rodgers
San
gonna get Lacy
Francisco,
on the draw. 1 yard officially on the pickup.
while San
And it'll leave
Francisco
with a 3rd
continues
and
their
11.
losing ways, and Chip Kelly is just shaking his head. Now, I will say
dictating on defense, and guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their
I don't think,
quarterback 'cause they have to
like,
throw it
when
all
it's
the
all
time.
said and done,
But
I
they
don't think
still
San
have to be
Francisco
alert
should
for the
fire Chip
draws
Kelly
and
after
other
this
plays of
season.
that nature to make sure you
Give
don't
him
get
one
hurt.
more,
And on
give him at
3rd
least
down,
one
the
more
Cowboys
shot,
bringing an extra defensive back.
and maybe get the quarterback of his choice,
And this is going to be incomplete.
and so forth. But
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've
it's
got a
going.
completion,
I don't
the
think
ball's
this
almost
is
there,
going to
and
be
then
even.
someone sneaks a hand or
I don't
two
think
in
it's going to be a
and
close
bats
one. I
it
think at
away.
least a 2-point, two score margin, a victory at least. But Buffalo wins, hands down.
Here's Jacob
This is a tough one
Shonda
though. The next one,
as he's on the
Jacksonville
punt
at
for
Chicago.
Green Bay.
This is a tough one to choose, tough one to pick, because both teams are
And take it right on the 30.
just
Nice job bringing that one back.
just
14
sucking.
on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now Dallas gets set to take the field.
And,
off a 3 and out, my friend.
like, Jacksonville was supposed to be that team to make that next step this year.
And go to a
And
spot
so
where
was
they've been before. Time to shake things up a
so
little
was
bit,
Chicago,
try
but
to get
Chicago
this
is
offense
so
Okay,
beat
so
up.
how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't
And
worked so well, and maybe you try and find
I
one of those
think
special plays from one of your better players.
Jacksonville,
and maybe try and hit
Jacksonville's just
something
been on
big and get
the
things
short,
going in the
has been on the
excitement area.
short end of the straw. I mean, they got their first win while they were in London. Maybe They can't win on U.S. soil. They have to go overseas to win, because they lost to Green Bay week 1. They lost to San Diego, or San Diego actually won a game. They lost to Baltimore, but they beat a divisional rival over in good old merry old England.
And the production that he showed us in college is translating very well into the National Football League.
And so with Chicago's injuries and so on and so forth, sure, they're the home team, but all honesty, I think Jacksonville is poised to Jacksonville's poised to win this one.
Tackle there by Clay Matthews.
And there's a nice stop for the defense. They've had a tough time containing this guy all game long, but maybe they can build a little bit off of that.
Next game, another. Jeez, it's usually these games that could go one way or another that usually I shoot myself in the foot when it comes to who wins. But it's hard to pick every single game. At least in my opinion. You can just go down and click the favorites and yeah, but anyways, this next game, Los Angeles, the Rams are at Detroit. After LA lost their first game, being shut out, they won 3 straight. And then they just got beat by Buffalo. So they were riding high, and then they got set back to reality. While Detroit, they have won and lost. They've won 2 games, lost 3. Let's see, they beat Philly last week, and they beat Indianapolis week 1. So they won their latest game and they won week 1, but have lost 3 games in between against Tennessee, Green Bay, and Chicago. Now Green Bay, Chicago, divisional rivals. Anything happens between divisional rivals.
And this one is right down the middle.
But Tennessee sucks. And that they lost by 1 point there. Philly, they beat Philly by 1 point. So Detroit's one of those teams that can be any given Sunday. Any given Sunday, they can sneak out and get that win. But can also just blow it at the end. And I think since the game's at Detroit, I gotta go with Detroit this go around. But I wouldn't be surprised if LA wins. It's gonna be one of those close games yet again. It's like, if you're a fan, maybe a nail biter. But it's gonna be. I think it'll be a fun game to watch. Speaking of fun games of watching, I don't know about this. Cleveland at Tennessee. Granted, Cleveland is winless. The only thing going for that city are the Cavaliers and the Indians. Baseball and basketball, the 2 Bs, while the FB isn't doing so hot. But Tennessee with their running backs, more or less, this ain't the week that Cleveland wins. Tennessee still wins. Cleveland still winless. And just that. So Tennessee wins. Pittsburgh at Miami. Miami has been another, you could say, a head scratcher. They took Seattle to the limits week 1. They almost lost to Cleveland, but have just been not a huge disappointment. I mean, they pick up the former offensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears, and they lost at Seattle. They lost at New England. They beat Cleveland. That's their only win. They beat Cleveland, but they lost at Cincinnati. They lost to Tennessee. And you take on Pittsburgh, and the following week you take on Buffalo. So it looks like when before you go on your bye, you're going to be 1-6.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line lower than the defensive
And
front.
you know that doesn't look good, because you know what, Pittsburgh. If Miami only had a good defense like Philly does, they might be able to rattle Pittsburgh. But with Pittsburgh having that three-headed monster known as Ben, Brown, and Bell, it's going to be tough for Miami to stop Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh wins. Now, at the beginning of the year, Cincinnati at New England sounded like a great matchup, and couldn't wait to see it. But things change. New England is at 4-1, while Cincinnati is 2-3. And where is it? It's at Foxborough. I don't know. It'd be surprising and shocking if New England loses back-to-back games at Foxborough, because New England's only loss came 2 weeks ago against Buffalo at home, and they were shut out. Now, I don't see New England being shut out this week, but I don't see Cincinnati having enough energy to beat New England, especially with Tom Brady back and that offense just clicking. So, New England, hands down.
I thought guys that were over 30 weren't supposed to run the football this well in the National
Now,
Football League.
this is probably the
Leadership, a big-time run
1, 2, 3,
combined with
4.
nice blocking by his offensive
This is
line.
what, the fifth
Showing
time?
the ins
Fifth,
and outs of being a veteran.
fourth
Still
or
has
fifth
his
time
toes
I'll
in
say
his
this.
league.
This
His
game can go
dominance
either
not
way.
totally turned over yet.
Defending NFC champions at New Orleans.
Rodgers with a give. It's Lacy.
And
Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. Calling a gain of 4 on first.
Carolina, I mean, Cam Newton sat out last week because concussion. He should be back. He should be healthy. But you know what? I don't think it's going to be good enough, especially going to the Superdome. But yet, I do believe the Saints have lost at least 2 games at home so far. But I don't think they're going to make it 3. I mean, it's just wondering how can this team how can this team that was 15-1 a year ago be 1-4 1 year later? Turnarounds like I've heard of the Super Bowl slump of the team that loses in the Super Bowl, but this is semi-ridiculous in my opinion. And New Orleans, yeah, they've lost 2 straight at home. They lost at New York Giants, but they beat San Diego before their bye. Now they host Carolina at home. You know, I gotta go with the Saints here.
We see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't
They come off the bye. They're all, for the most part, I'm sure they're healed, rested,
and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
ready to go.
Rodgers now on
And
first down. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just
and
inside
I just
the
think
20.
since New Orleans
It's
is
a gain
home,
of 5
but
on
yet
the play, and
they've
it'll make it a
lost.
second
They haven't
down.
won a home game yet,
If you're running out
but I
route,
think they can turn that around.
You end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
But this game could go either way. Any game can go either way. But I'm going with New Orleans.
Long drive, the defense just cannot seem to catch a break and get
Now
off the field.
here is a game of teams trying to find their identity, in my opinion.
He'll set up the screen to Lacy. And he's brought
You
down
got
just
the
outside of the
New
10,
York
the 11.
Football
7
Giants,
yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
who are at 2-3, taking on at Baltimore, who's 3-2. Baltimore started the season 3-0, just winning their games by the slimmest of margins, but then have gone 0-2 the previous weeks, while the New York Football Giants, they started the season 2-0 and have lost 3 in a row.
We'll back them up 5.
And like on the Giants side, they have the last 2 weeks for sure they have lost their identity. I mean, week 1, they beat Dallas by a point, mainly because of poor clock management on Dallas' behalf. Or otherwise, the Cowboys could be 5-0 right there, right head-to-head with Minnesota, and New York could be 1-4. But you know, they got the luck. Roll of the dice. And then they beat the Giants beat New Orleans to go up 2-0. But then week 3 rolled around, they lost by 2 points. 2 points to Washington, another divisional rival. And I'll say this every single time: when you face a divisional rival, games can go either way. Doesn't matter if they're winless. Doesn't matter if you're undefeated. It doesn't matter, because those are the teams you play year in, year out, at their place, at home. So it doesn't matter. But then they lose by 14 against Minnesota the following week, and then they lost by 7 to Green Bay the week after.
That's caught at the 2. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up 1st and goal.
And like the first 3 weeks, it's Odell Beckham Jr., it's Victor Cruz, and it's Sterling Shepard. 3, they had the best receiving trio in the league. Now, I don't know if that's still true, but they were leading the league in receptions.
This is turning into a bit of a death
So,
match here, the 13th play of this drive.
so the question is, can Eli start throwing the ball? Because like last week, I don't think Sterling Shepard was targeted, or was it? Or was it was Victor Cruz, one of the two. I think Cruz. I don't know what Eli's stats were for. Let's see if I can pull those up real quick. Eli only had 199 yards passing.
Extra point try now for Crosby.
Yeah, Odell Beckham Jr. 5 catches for 56 yards. Sterling Shepard 2 for 14, and Victor Cruz 0 for 0. So other receptions were Bobby Rainey, Will Tye, Gerald Adams, and Paul Perkins. And so, I mean, he didn't throw it to his other 2 guys, mainly to Odell Beckham and to his DBs. But like the thing is, if you can pressure Eli, if the Ravens can pressure Eli, get into his face, Eli just throws it away. He doesn't really run, he doesn't scramble. he just gets out of the way and throws it away.
Fielded about a yard deep.
So that's like the only downside for the Giants. But Giants can be a good team though. If Eli stays posed, doesn't freak when he's under pressure, if he can roll out of the pocket, stay alive, scramble just a little bit maybe. You know, Giants could have won those 2 games or 3 games. They, you know, the East now looks like it's going to be a little tough. After last year, it was like who's going to win. But I think since the Giants are at home, I think they have the edge. They're back at home. They've had a rough 3 weeks, starting with Washington losing by 2, but then going to Minnesota, going to Green Bay, primetime, short weeks, taking on 2 of the best teams in the NFC. I think after a week of rest or so, they're back home, taking on an AFC opponent that they only see once every 4 years. I think the Giants will bounce back. Baltimore, you look at Baltimore, their first 3 wins. Buffalo by 6. Cleveland by 5. Jacksonville by 2. But then Oakland, they lost by 1. Washington, they lost by 6. So I think New York bounces back. Baltimore woes continues. They fall. They go 3-3. While New York finally gets a victory after losing 3 weeks in a row. But you know, that's how the cookie crumbles. Philadelphia at Washington. Here we go. Philly. Big old surprise there. They are 3-1. They had their bye. They come off their bye. They lose. Oh, that'd be short of the first down. Philly was undefeated, 3-0. They had their bye. They come back. They take on their defensive coordinator's old team, the Detroit Lions, and the Detroit Lions somehow just sneak out of Ford Field with a win. Philly loses by 1 point, but I mean, Doug Peterson, Carson Wentz have been doing a great job. I don't know about another real test, but taking on divisional foes, the Washington Redskins, defending NFC East champions, and I see Philly getting back to their winning ways as they take on Washington. They beat the Redskins. I don't want to say easily. I want to say they're going to earn this one. They're going to earn it, but Washington will take him to the limits. Kansas City at Oakland.
He's been terrific so far.
Tough one here. Oakland has been getting away with, has been on the right side of victories. Only losing once, and that was week 2 to hot Atlanta. I mean, week 1 they go down to New Orleans and beat the Saints in the Superdome. They lost to Atlanta by 7, but then they beat Tennessee, they beat Baltimore by 2, and then they survive against San Diego. So Oakland's been playing some close games. They really haven't had that, sigh of relief like, hey, we're gonna win. That'd been funny if Devontae Adams caught and just kept running. So we're tied at 17 apiece here. I think it's going to be a close game, fun game to watch. But going back to Oakland and Kansas City, Kansas City on the flip side, they just came off their bye. I think they're 2 wins. There's been no question about them. San Diego, they had to come back to beat San Diego in overtime while they took care of the Jets. Houston, they lost by 7, and Pittsburgh, don't even get me started on that one. But I mean, it's this one. This one is going to be a head scratcher because I have a feeling it's going to be similar to like Week 1 with Kansas City versus San Diego, but yet I also feel like it could be like Week 3 where not that Kansas City is going to run over Oakland. It's going to be a tight one. Put it that way. And at the moment, let's see, since Oakland is the home team, I have to go with them. But knowing my luck, Kansas City's defense is just going to show up. I'm not saying Derek Carr is like Ryan Fitzpatrick, but they could make him look like him. So I'm going with Oakland mainly because they're the home team in this one. But I can see Kansas City just pull it out and then win. Oh, Dallas at Green Bay, the game we are watching right now. It's plain and simple. Plain and simple, I'm picking Green Bay. But the main storyline for this one is Green Bay's rush stop defense versus Dallas's rushing game. Who's going to control the line of scrimmage? The other storylines in this game, Green Bay's offense. Why aren't they all high powerful anymore? High power offense. It's like, it's going to get time to get back in that rhythm, I want to say, but since losing Jordy last year. But I think the days of Green Bay scoring like 30, 35, 40 points a game or averaging like 30 points a game is, I think, might be in the past. It's like you get that lead and then they play conservative ish and rely on their defense to keep their opponents out of the end zone.
Give him 9 on the play, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1.
So, and like the one thing I just saw, like the other thing is, both the running backs for Green Bay have been hurt. If Green Bay does not have a running game, it's going to be tough for them to move the ball. But one thing just happened: Green Bay cut their 3rd-string quarterback, and I'm going to assume they're going to pick up a running back between now and Sunday, so they at least have a healthy running back. But they'll disappoint that Green Bay cut their 3rd-string Callahan. I mean, to be all honest, I think if a team is looking for a quarterback, like the Browns, I would pick him up. Callahan's shown praise and poise.
A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Lacy.
In the preseason, if the Packers can keep him on their practice squad, that'd be lovely. But apparently they felt like they only need two quarterbacks now, and the only reason why Green Bay carried 3 is because what happened to Rodgers a few years ago, where he had his injury that knocked him out for half the season, and they were just poor at backup. Oh, look at all that time in that pocket. But anyways, like I said, I like Green Bay. Green Bay is at home. This is Green Bay's 3rd home game, 3rd of 4 in 5 weeks. Green Bay, though, gets a short week when they host Chicago on Thursday night in the Color Rush. Maybe that's what I'll talk about in a little bit, are the stupid Color Rush jerseys. But in this game, Green Bay are wearing throwback jerseys too, so which since 2010, Green Bay has not lost when wearing throwback jerseys. But Green Bay, hands down, I think, I truly think the Packers' run-stop defense will keep Ezekiel under control, forcing Dak Prescott to throw the ball more, and hopefully a healthy secondary for Green Bay could control the line, ball, whatever. But obviously, Green Bay. Now this, after thinking in a while, maybe I should have done this game instead, but who cares? This is going to be another great game of the week. High Atlanta, 4-1, taking on 3-1 Seattle at Seattle. Both these games, both Green Bay versus hosting Dallas and Atlanta at Seattle, playoffs are tiebreakers right here. This is going to be crucial come the end of the season. Oh, whatever. These are potential games right here. Whoever wins those games are in control of their destiny of making the playoffs. And like right now, with Green Bay being a game behind Minnesota, they need to win as many games as possible. And Atlanta and Seattle, they're both top of their division. And with excuse me. With Atlanta not losing since week 1, and Seattle Seattle's 3-1, but they had a close game week 1 against Miami, which comes big surprise at Seattle.
They forced the punt the last time, got off the field. I'm sure some of your
but then they lose to the Rams, which in recent years they've had struggles against the Rams. But then they took care of San Francisco and they took care of the Jets. So I mean, they had, in my opinion, Seattle had 4 easy opponents. They easily could have been 4-0 before their bye, but divisional foes, shake them up. And Seattle was at the Coliseum, so.
He's going to get the football. And he's brought down. Give him 12
and so now they have a stretch of games of they're hosting Atlanta, then they at Arizona, at New Orleans, hosting Buffalo, at New England versus Philly. I think those 3 games are going to be tough for Seattle, in my opinion. Because I don't think Seattle is quite where they were a handful of years ago when they had their Super Bowl runs. I think Seattle's is kind of on that downswing, but coming back up, if you know what I mean. And like, question is Atlanta for real? Is Atlanta for real? Last week, or 2 weeks ago, they destroyed Carolina. Julio Jones, 300 yards receiving. Matt Ryan, 500 yards passing. I mean, crazy. And how they did it was because of the play action. They had a running game. And last week, how they win? Mainly because of Denver didn't have a quarterback last week, put it that way. So, and I think Atlanta going into Seattle, they're going to find out that that 12th man isn't as good anymore. And Atlanta's going to prove they go to Denver, beat Denver. They go to Seattle, they beat Seattle. This is one of my favorites. I like. I think Atlanta could do it. Last year, Atlanta started the season 5-0 and finished 8-8. I mean, how do you do that? How do you start the season 5-0 and then only manage to win 3 more games? 3 of 11 more games. It's just, you know, head scratcher. Well, Green Bay started 6-0 last year and only managed to win 4 more all year after that, after their bye. But that was last year. This is just year. I think Atlanta's figured their
now it's the Florida Atlantic alum. This is Alfred Morris.
They figure out what's wrong and so forth. Atlanta, they win. They beat Seattle at Seattle, have the tiebreaker over them. Sunday night game, Indianapolis at Houston. And I hope, I don't know, you have to see which baseball games play on that night, because you know what? I don't think this is really a good one. It might be at the end. I mean, Houston, Indianapolis, the AFC South is still the head scratcher. Like last year, the NFC East and AFC South were the two. It's like, what's going on here? Like, no one wants to win. Everyone sucks. Somebody has to win the division sooner. Someone has to start winning. And so, Houston's the home team. Indianapolis, they beat the Bears last week. Houston, I already forgot who Houston played last week.
So much about this game is just understanding situations.
I know they lost.
Having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied to make the
Oh yeah, Houston played Minnesota last week. So that's a little, you know, asterisk right there. But I mean, they beat Chicago, they beat Kansas City back to back, then they lost to New England. Well, a shocker there. They beat Tennessee and they lost Minnesota. So I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I think I'm picking Indianapolis in this one mainly because that's mainly why. And last but not least, Monday Night Football, the New York Jets at Arizona. This one I'm going with Arizona mainly because they're home. They ship Carson Palmer back. They are the better team. The Jets are stumbling. But I'm going with Arizona in this one. So those are my picks. Overall, the first 5 weeks I am 34-43. So I mean, after week 1, after going 6-10 week 1, I went 6-10 week 1, 8-8 week 2. 7-9 week 3, 6-9 week 4. Oh. Last week going 7-7. So I'm hoping one of these weeks I'm hoping to be stellar, but that's easier said than done. But
they turn into bigger runs later because after a while, guys don't want to deal with it.
But yeah.
So the run gets them the first, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs. They'll run it with Lacy, and he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
But he was stopped on that play, but he's had plenty of
So
carries
how
all
about let's
afternoon.
just
Every now and then the defense is going to win one,
sit
but
back
I don't think they'll shy away from it to him the rest of the game.
and see how the rest of this game turns out. If I have any other interesting topics I can think of, I'll say them. But I mean, overall, I think this will be is your money's worth right here. Green Bay at. Oh, he was out of bounds.
Well, Brandon, this is a former first-round pick, and he's been a bit of a disappointment in his career up till now.
Now, yeah, I'll be super critical against my Green Bay Packers, but they're my favorite team. They're the ones I watch week in, week out. And when someone tries to say something critical about them, you know, I'm there to defend them, just like any other fan base.
They bent a little bit, but they didn't break.
So,
Like that. And that's not
but
always wrong. We run into
especially
that talk about, well, if I give up 3 points,
when
the whole
someone
day's
tries to
ruined.
say, you know,
Actually,
oh,
it's
they
not.
suck, blah,
Just
blah,
giving
burp,
up field
burp,
goals
burp.
usually gives your
It's
team
like,
a chance
no.
to win if you're playing good defense.
Yeah, especially
Season's
in the
not
National
over.
Football League.
Time will tell, and so on. But, anyways, I don't got much more to say. Let's just see how this game turns out and see how accurate Madden turns out to be when everything is said and done. And it's a little disappointing that, you know, Madden has only gotten 2 games right so far out of the 6 I have simulated. This is the 7th one. And we have a long way to go. As we still have, once the regular season's done, I got the wild card weekend, top wild card game. I got divisional round, top divisional round game. I got both championship games. I'm going to do both NFC and AFC championship games predictions. And then I'm going to do the third place / if bowl, the 2 teams that lost in the championship game, if they were playing against each other in the Super Bowl, who would win? And then, of course, Super Bowl 51, see who man likes, and so forth.
Another good run for him. What else is new?
But, you know, that's still a ways away.
To throw now on first down.
Ho-ho.
And it's off the mark, incomplete.
How do you drop the ball like that?
Bring up second down. So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. Second down and 10. From the pistol, here's Elliott. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere.
Oh, yeah, that.
No gain on that one as
The
it
one
brings up
thing,
a 3rd and 10.
the color rush.
That's one of the few times they've been able to contain him. He's had a heck of a game, and maybe he's
I don't know who's the marketing genius behind this. All I gotta say is whoever thought of this should be dragged in the street and beat with a bat. Oh.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown.
Whatever.
Jason Witten, 41 yards. And the Cowboys
That was a good crossing pattern and catch and run.
Target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that
Oh,
position as a
no,
fallback.
not crossing.
Throw it to them when all else fails. Not
Hook
at
or
all.
whatever. But
This
anyways,
guy can make
color rush.
plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Last year was the debut of that. And it's like, okay, it was a good thing. Or not even a good thing, no.
Extra point try by Bailey.
Interesting experiment that they did. to start the season.
And his guys will
Or
take
not
a
even start the
10-point
season, midway
lead.
through the season. But then it's like, hey. First and foremost, I'm not a big fan of Thursday Night Football. Mainly because if the NFL is concerned about health and stuff for their players, they would not have Thursday Night Football because 3-4 days of rest isn't good enough. Isn't long enough. I mean, sure, then they get 10 days of rest or 11 days of rest. But it's just not long enough.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown.
Okay?
This is fielded at the goal
No.
line.
I have no issue.
And he'll take this across
Like-
the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line.
You get a little
The
Oh,
defense for
then
the
some
Cowboys getting set to
bias.
go. And the interception
not
last
bias,
time they went
hip,
out there ended up leading to a touchdown.
hypocrisy, hypocritical when it comes to Thanksgiving. Like, I love Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving Day football. And now there's 3 games that happen, and it's like, that's a short week. Well, then maybe give those 6 teams the byes prior to Thanksgiving and get them ready to play Thursday. But like, Thursday Night Football, I think is a joke. Especially now if this might be the only year that they do every single team's a color rush. But
And he'll push his way
it-
forward to about the 32. 5 yards is the tally on first down.
in my opinion, Thursday Night Football, the premise is a whole joke anyways.
Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5.
It's just
they've got to figure out a way to out leverage the guys up front because the offensive
marketing,
line is winning
not
at the
marketing,
point of
but
attack.
money and stuff like that.
They'll run it now. And some room to maneuver.
Oh, Lacey!
See you later.
Wow.
Down to the 10-yard line. A big run there by Lacey. 58 yards.
When you take a look at Eddie Lacy,
But
you expect the run we just saw, don't you? A battering ram
Like,
type of an effort.
I know I keep saying this,
Such a tough
but
runner
finally,
in Alabama.
color rush. Color rush is so stupid
Championships and
because
a tough runner here in the NFL.
it's usually they're wearing all the same color, and it's mandatory. Like this year, I saw at least 3 home teams,
So after that big
or at
play,
least
let's see if
5
they can
home
get their defense
teams will
maybe
be
on their
wearing
heels.
all white. And that includes my Green Bay Packers.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. It's a gain of a couple.
And some of them look decent, but others just look like vomit.
For the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder.
And not
now.
worth it. It's
Won
like,
the first battle,
you
keep
know,
coming
you
after
want
it, put
Thursday
the
Night
pressure
Football.
on.
Let's just have Thursday Night Football. Let's just have, you know, your 2 teams that you want to play on Thursday night play,
Again on the ground, again with Starks.
and
And
not
they
worry
take it
about
down
what they're
after a
wearing.
decent gain, and that will
Okay,
bring us to the
let the
end
home
of
team
this
choose.
third quarter
Let the
play.
road team, you know, then choose from there. Just let them play. They don't need to be
Back now
wearing
at Lambeau. It's the Packers who have the football, but in need of points.
same unit
in quarter number
or whatever.
4.
So, but anyways, here we go. We're entering the 4th quarter. Cowboys up by 10, which is, I think this is a very accurate game.
They gotta have 6
Except
here.
for a
It's
few
3rd
things,
and
but
goal.
I am going to do ticky-tacky. But big 3rd down.
They'll run it with Lacey.
Oh, they run,
And he gets halfway there, down to the 1-yard line.
but they need to get to the 1.
He got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over.
I always
50
think
now. And this
if they're
defense
this
has
close,
really had its
Green Bay
problems
should
trying
go
to keep
for
him
it.
contained.
But they need 3 points
So
to
on 4th
tie.
down,
or-
out-trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle.
Fake it. Fake it.
And Crosby puts it through, and this is back down to a 7-point game. All right, so you needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal.
Green Bay's defense needs to step it up now, but
it's a necessary first step.
Still plenty of time remaining, but you could really use a stop defensively after the kickoff, preferably a 3 and out.
That's right. You tell him, Coach.
After the made field goal, now Crosby will do the kickoff duties. Whitehead, the return. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Ezekiel Elliott gets ready to go again here on offense as he shuffles onto the field. So after that hot start, the numbers here show the decline. What has the defense done adjustment-wise?
Sometimes when you have a running back who's getting off to a hot start, you've got to catch him before he really gets going. So you change what you do across the defensive front. Instead of the linebackers being back a few yards, you bring them up closer. It's what we call mugging the line of scrimmage, taking away a lot of blocking.
Mugging the line of scrimmage.
Maybe stopping him before he can get going.
Mugging the line of scrimmage, okay.
Yeah, in this case.
Now a play fake here on first down.
Oh, just overthrew his receiver.
And on 2nd and 10 now. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Here's Prescott.
Oh. Another big question on Green Bay's side of the ball is when is Sam Shields going to be healthy? Is Sam Shields healthy? When will he be healthy? After his concussion he suffered week 1.
And cuts towards the middle of the field, and now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
A first down carry by Elliott. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Oftentimes when a guy has a game like this, he's going to take his offensive line out to dinner afterwards. But after a play like that, he may tell them, instead of getting the steaks, guys, we might have to go for the hot dogs. Third and 11, 5 in the secondary now.
Nickel look. Now Prescott. Surveying
plenty of time, and he gets sacked.
Packer pressure, and down he goes. And now that brings up 4th down there, a loss of 6 yards on the sack.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs.
Bad
well,
Joe.
For the sack.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away.
Oh.
And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
That sounds about right.
Now the Packers get set to go. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time.
So Green Bay's down by 7. They need to travel 96 yards for a touchdown. There's, what is it? 11:34 left. Oh, jeez. Oh, they lose 3 yards, of course.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, Brandon, he's had a great day, and sometimes that just happens. It is the NFL. They will make some plays against you.
It's already 2nd and 12. The defense hoping to push them back more.
Yeah, what, for a safety?
Lacey. And he was very fortunate.
Oh, he gets a 1 yard.
He maybe got back to the 2-yard line. $12 yards to go on 3rd down. Now Starks. And now
wow, so on 3rd and 12, down by 7 with about 10 minutes left in the game. Let's run the ball on 3rd and long instead of trying to throw it.
But I think they deserve even bigger ones because in that situation, they had to be thinking pass. Loosened up defense, going to pass coverage. Instead, maybe they surprised them a little bit running the ball, yet they rallied to it and stopped them well short of a 1st down.
And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick.
Oh, yeah.
Let's take it inside his own 40. Now a hit and a loose football. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. And now hang on here. The door, can you hear it? It's a little open.
Or is that the squeaky hinges that I'm hearing?
Oh,
right now?
jeez.
Yeah, the door.
Is that too high pitch?
No, not at all. The door is open a little bit. It's almost like when you told those horror stories on the camping trip, right?
So
now,
Dallas fumbles.
Yeah.
Booth is being reviewing it, and Green Bay recovers it.
Swing here, the 4th on the punt fumble.
I don't know how that's a fumble to begin with, but after further review. Boo! So Dallas gets the ball back, play action, hits a wide open receiver.
And he's brought down after a good gain. A good pickup there at 22.
They hit that crossing route really well. Excellent timing, puts it right on him, and he keeps running.
Yeah, turned it upfield for good yardage.
We got 1st and 10. Green Bay's 26-yard line. 9 minutes and counting. I don't know.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He's got time. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. Dez Bryant, the intended receiver. And it's 2nd down.
Help me out, partner. Was that incomplete?
That was on a deep ball to Dez.
And that's a surprise. The way he attacks the football in the air, it's always surprising to me when he doesn't complete a pass like that.
Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. They'll set up a throw. He's got time in the pocket.
Oh, playing time Rose. Surprised he isn't running with it. Oh, that's why.
Receiver complete. And he's brought down after a good gain. A good pickup there at 22. Well, you think he loved the protection he had there all kinds of time.
And you're so right. How could you not love that? Great protection. The big guys up front really locked in on it. No one gets near the quarterback. He's got all the time in the world to survey the field and deliver for a first down.
And the big boys up front, a big reason why they're also winning, too.
So now first and goal at Green Bay's 4-yard line. They're probably going to try to hand it off to Elliott. No.
Stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. Cole Beasley from 3 yards out. And the Cowboys will add on to their lead. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
Here's Bailey now for the extra point. And the lead is up to 14.
So Dallas has a 14-point lead with about 8 minutes left to play in the game. Don't know. I'd be a little surprised if Green Bay would be losing by 14 points, especially at home. I mean, like I said before, Green Bay has 4 straight home games. They had a bye in there. They actually played 3 straight. They played three home games in a
This is fielded at the goal line.
10-day, 12-day span, starting from last week.
And now back onto the field. Here comes the Cowboys defense. They were able to force that 3 and out.
So I mean,
a touchdown. Defenses obviously love 3 and outs. They want more of that.
I mean, Green Bay is one of the better teams at home. Last year they lost 3 times at home, and it was to their 3 divisional rivals. And for the first time that they lost all 3 games, lost their divisional rivals at home. But they won the other 5. But then they beat their divisional rivals on the road.
And this is going to be caught. No, they say it's incomplete.
Oh, this is where you take that little hanky and you throw it out there.
Second down. Well, in tapping those toes, he tried to get both in bounds. He could not do it, though.
In tap dance parlance, could not complete the shuffle. All right, needed to get that shuffle down with both feet, not just one.
Is that what they say?
There it is. You know, put a little sand down on the stage.
I'll take your word for it, my man. The left side throw complete.
You just come right back at it.
12 yards there as they move the chains. He had time, was able to survey the field and find a soft spot in that zone coverage.
And that's where it gets difficult for a defender, Brandon. You go to your spots on the field that you have to cover, and when the offense finds an area that you're not in, that's where they throw the football.
Good game so far, good game.
Now a play fake here on first down. It gets it over the middle to Cobb. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49.
One of the feature points
they need to hurry up, though. And the big question becomes, if Green Bay does score on this drive, what they do now? Onside or kick it.
If he's late with the ball, he can get his receiver hit and hit hard.
1st and 10. Here's Rodgers. Caught by
Ooh.
Nelson offside. And he's brought down. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
So, but time is ticking away. It'll be at like the 6-minute mark when they, under 6 minutes before they get this ball snapped. Another pass play. Was surprised, and lots of protection, wide open. Just shy of the first down. Green Bay's moving the ball, that's nice, but they're not doing it fast enough in my opinion. As like right now, they're starting to look like most of their opponents. Where Green Bay has the lead in their first three wins, they have the lead, and their opponents come crawling back to the tie or whatever. But now in this game, everything's reversed. I mean, Green Bay's down by 14, not by 7. But
yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become
obviously,
for their quarterbacks.
I'm going to be rooting for Green Bay, like I say all the time. But it's going. Oh, jeez. But it's going to be tough if Green Bay does not have a running back come Sunday. I think Dallas will sneak out the victory, because I've seen Green Bay put Randall Cobb and Ty Montgomery in the backfield as a running back, but they're not built as a running back. Now maybe on a fly sweep, or have them in the backfield and run for a screen or rolling catch. Yes, that works there, but obviously not an everyday fact. So hopefully the Packers can have a running back, hopefully Eddie Lacy. I'm hoping Eddie Lacy, because Eddie Lacy had a great game against the Giants last week, especially in the first half. But then second half, they benched him like a little bit into the second quarter. Didn't see him until the beginning of the third, and then he's done for the game. He easily would have had over 100 yards rushing last week, but that high ankle sprain.
I think that run gives us evidence that the defense is getting a little bit tired out there.
3rd and 11. I'd say Green Bay might have to go for it on 4th down. They can't kick a field goal. They're down by 14. They would have to go for it. Let's see what happens here. They got to get to the 10. Or 11, 10. But they'll have to go for it. 4th and 3 with 3:54 left. They have to go for it.
I mean, they had the right call, had the out route. He's got to know where the first down sticks are. Yet he steps out of bounds.
Oh yeah, and they show Crosby going in there. No, they have to go for it.
So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out.
Oh my gosh.
And a whistle, and they may have to rethink their plans on 4th down.
That's been happening a lot in this game, is false starts. I don't see that happening a lot, though. I don't see the Packers, was it tackles? I don't see that happening.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
4th and 8. Play time as usual. Oh yeah, and then he gets sacked. Rodgers would have seen that guy coming and started rolling away. But that's why this is the game, and it ain't real life.
That's a little bit demoralizing, so they have to be careful about that, because still have an opportunity if they can get some things done on defense. But now, since they've taken over on downs, a team with the ball, guess what? Going to 4-minute offense, maybe they can put this thing away.
Here's the Packer defense getting set
But
to
Green
go
Bay is
again.
going to have to
And
start
maybe
calling
for them at
timeouts,
this
I guess.
stage, it's sort of put up or shut up time. They need to stop trailing here.
Oh, I'm with you totally on that one. They've got to go out there now and put an end to what's been going on in this ball game where they've just given up points, gotten pushed around, so to speak, during this contest. They've got to find a way to end it right here, right now.
Can they end it? Let's find out. Now Prescott.
Ooh.
To the sideline, and oh, a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together.
So what, we got 3:45 left.
Doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see
3:45 left. Dallas, I don't know why they're passing the ball. They just need to run it. They're play action. Oh.
He's got Witten. A good pick up there of 20 yards. He's played a great game. It continues right there, even with this lead, confident to throw the pass and have the reception made.
There's no doubt.
Now, I will say Green Bay does have one of the not so best secondaries in the league. And so, like, that I can see happening.
So after that big game,
but it's still
the offense has up its sleeve.
I mean, the Cowboys might just expose Green Bay this Sunday.
Room here to run. And he gets this inside the
But
35-yard line. And give him 15 more, and it's another first
but
down.
it's always hard for me to believe Green Bay stumbling. But it's possible. It's very possible.
How many runs do they need to call to make
but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Dallas to come to Green Bay with their two rookies and win at Lambeau. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Finish them off.
They keep on the ground with Elliott. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
On 2nd down, Elliott.
Oh.
And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
And, yeah, that takes us to a 2-minute warning.
We'll come back to wrap this one up after this.
It is a hard one to watch, but
so the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. Yeah, they have just put this one on ice as they've got it here 1st and 10.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
So the offense has it 1st and 10. This is Morris.
Oh.
And he's brought down.
Timeout, Green Bay.
Coming from the defensive side for the Packers. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. And it's 1st and goal now, but still 10 yards to go. Here's Elliott. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll
And yet
second
another
and goal.
timeout. What surprise.
Now the Packers going to take another timeout. That'll be their second, so one more chance to stop the clock here, and we'll be back. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play.
Second goal. 1 minute 51 left. Green Bay's 9-yard line. I don't know. We'll see, though. We'll see.
They'll try again with Elliott. And he will maneuver his way.
And the final timeout, thankfully.
And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. That'll be their third and final stoppage here as we step aside. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. This will be play number 8 on the drive. It's 3rd and goal.
Oh, and they're going to throw for it. And, of course, touchdown. They go up, what? Try and go up 21? Now they're just throwing salt in the wounds. I don't think, if the Cowboys do win this game, I don't think they're going to win by 21 points.
He's one of the key guys in this one.
By 1 or 2 points, yes, I can believe that. Now, I'm not saying Dallas isn't going to come into Green Bay and can't get a W. They've only done that once. And all their times coming playing Green Bay at Green Bay, but
he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through.
like I said, I don't see Dallas putting up 41 points on the Packers. Plain and simple. Can I see Dallas winning? Yes. I can see Dallas coming into Green Bay and shocking the Packers. Yes. So I'm not going to rule that out.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is fielded a couple yards deep. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Rodgers now on first down. To the sideline, and oh, a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to
hurry up
that.
offense now.
They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh
Oh,
set
it's
of
possible to
downs.
score 21 points in a minute 20.
Now Rodgers.
Especially,
Look out, Rodgers lost the football. A near
I almost
turnover.
wish
offense
the Cowboys
recovers it.
recovered that so
They'll
this
try to
game could
regroup on
end.
second.
But
Again, they'll throw with Rodgers. Caught by Nelson left side. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
you know,
On first down.
it is what it is.
And complete right side to Cook. Give them 13 on the pickup there. And it'll give the Packers a first down. When we see another great performance like this out of Aaron Rodgers, you have to chuckle thinking that his only FBS offer was a walk-on at Illinois.
And now he's the pride of Butte Junior College, of course at Cal. And I remember watching him play at Cal, and he would run 7-on-7 drills. Angry if the ball ever hit the ground, and it didn't do it very often.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Throwing on first down is Rodgers.
Get rid of Rodgers. Would have gotten rid of it.
Go down. They got him for a sack. Tyrone Crawford in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon.
He spiked it. I think so.
Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on third down. The play fake to start. Now
Yeah,
Rodgers.
because Packers are gonna run it.
Deep drop. In the middle of the field, he's got Nelson.
And what? 20 seconds and
yards on the
counting.
play. And they're going to speed things up here.
Spike. Yeah.
Now this will be the 9th play on this drive. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Rodgers to throw once more.
Plenty of time. Oh, and that should do it.
He's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line.
I spy a couple of extra defensive backs on the field for Dallas.
Cowboys in the dime on third.
Well,
Big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just
we'll
saying,
see.
hey,
We'll
put
see
those
when
points up
Sunday
every
rolls
week, let's keep
around.
winning.
They will gratefully
I don't
accept
think
them,
Dallas
won't they? It makes
is
their
able to
job that
will
much
be able to put
easier.
41
When they're scoring
points
that
on
many
Green
points,
Bay.
allows them to play with a
I'm not
totally
going to
different
deny
style
that
and
Dallas
different flow.
has a shot to beat the Packers, but it's going to be a lot closer game than what Madden predicts. So it's going to be sad to see Madden get another one wrong and go 2-5. But hey, there's plenty of football. We'll see when everything is all said and done come Sunday and come next week. Not sure for game of the week next week, but hey, I have a feeling this one, and I'm sure most people will feel the same, that this game is going to be a lot closer than Madden predicts. So we'll see.
So that's a wrap for
For sure.
Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin.
I
And this
mean,
has been a presentation of
I-
the
like I
NFL
keep saying,
on EA
I won't-
Sports. For more, check us out at
And Green Bay had more
EASports.com.
rushing yards in this game.
With that, we say so long, everyone.
So
from Lambeau.
there's your final 41-20 Dallas. Madden thinks Cowboys are going to beat the Packers at Lambeau. We'll see once Sunday rolls around. Otherwise, until then, see ya.